Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, I am going to be joined by Ben, none other than Bitboy Crypto, and we are going to be discussing manipulation of the Bitcoin price. We're going to talk about how a lot of people say that the energy consumption of Bitcoin is all doom and gloom, and we're going to be talking about why all of this is nonsense and the future of Bitcoin looks very, very bright. Stay tuned. It was a great conversation, and so without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it.
Hey guys, today I'm joined by one of my favorite content creators out there in crypto land on YouTube, Crypto Jeb. Joining us today, we're going to talk about a lot of really interesting stuff, prospects for where Bitcoin is going, where maybe the bottom is, and then we're going to talk about a lot of FUD around Bitcoin that needs to be cleared. So Jeb, first and foremost, as always, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ben. I hope you're doing great today. Great to be here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and kick it off. What do you got on the docket first here?
Yeah, so I wanted to come and talk to you, Ben, about a lot of different opinions that are circling around in Bitcoin. You know, we've pulled back a little over 20% in the last 14 days odd on Bitcoin. We had an all-time high of 65,000. We pulled back down to $47,000, that bottom. A lot of levels of support down there. I personally think that's where we're bottoming out. I think we're going up from here. But there's a lot of people that are trying to hate on Bitcoin. There's a lot of FUD coming into the space. A lot of people saying, oh, no, the bull market's over. There's a lot of people trying to hate on Bitcoin, and I really just don't think they're right. And I want to talk to you about some of that manipulation, if you would like to call it today.
Well, speaking of manipulation, you know, one of the comments that we got on the last video we did together was, you know, people wondering, did Bitcoin collapse because of those sunglasses you were wearing?
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes.
And
now you've got the clear glasses so we can see your eyes. We can trust what you're saying today, Jeb.
You can trust what I'm saying. You can see my eyes, everybody. I hope you are happy.
Okay. So that was probably the first, you know, thing that really started pushing things down. But in reality, when we're looking at all this FUD, you know, happening across everything, you know, the one to me that really stands out is just so ridiculous is Bill Gates. 5 days ago, Bill Gates said he believes Bitcoin is heading towards a total collapse. There is nothing in Bitcoin, nothing across the network that would seem to indicate that that's even possible. Like, that's not possible. There's too many people behind this for it to go to zero. This is not some kind of like, you know, overnight success. This has been in the process for 12 years, you know, with prospects of, you know, being around much, much longer, if not, you know, not forever, because of course, you know, who knows, the earth may not be here 1,000 years from now, but for, you know, at least our lifetimes, I believe. Now I may come back from, you know, being cryogenically frozen down the road, and who knows what's going to be happening, but that'll all be done on the blockchain. But for Bill Gates to say this, like, this kind of stuff is so asinine, you know, it's just like there's a lot of people know this. Let me start with this. A lot of people know this about me. One of the things, and somebody actually came up to me at the conference last week and said, he started naming all the things that he knows that I hate, you know, banks and, you know, censorship. And the third thing he said was intellectual dishonesty. I hate intellectual dishonesty so much.
Amen.
That someone can say something out of their mouth that they know they don't believe to manipulate other people. And that drives me insane. And for Bill Gates to be at the level that he is in the world and with as much power as he has, to have the intellectual dishonesty to say he thinks Bitcoin collapsed, knowing full well there's a 0% chance that it collapses, it drives me insane.
Yeah, the thing that really gets me is that Bill Gates is in a very small class of people. He's a visionary who has founded a major company that went on to be incredibly successful. Bill Gates has the ability to see the future. You can't just say, oh, well, he just doesn't know any better. He knows better. He's been working in the technology space for the last 30 odd years. He should know that the future for Bitcoin is very bright. And if he is saying that he doesn't, either one, he's uninformed, or two, he's mistaken, or a combination of a combination of him literally trying to collapse it for some reason. I don't know if that's what he's doing.
I think he's
the point is
specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't know. I really don't know what he's doing. I can't speak to that. But the fact of the matter is that there are so many people speaking crap about Bitcoin right now, trying to suppress it. And there's so many people trying to hold it down. And the funny thing is that Bitcoin has had a small correction lately. But just to lay the foundation, I think, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this, I think that the 25% correction that we saw over the last 10 days on Bitcoin was actually very healthy. Right now, we've seen so much speculation and hype and FOMO and all kinds of craziness going on in the cryptocurrency space. What we needed was a healthy correction. I actually think that the correction that we just saw might be one of the most bullish things that has happened to Bitcoin in the last year. If you look at 2016 and 17, what did you see? You saw 14 to 60-day pullbacks that resulted in a 30 to a 45% correction. That happened, if I remember correctly, 8 times in the bull market of 2016 to 17 that lasted 2 years, rallied 10,000%. Healthy corrections are a part of a healthy bull market. I think this is a very good thing, but many people are trying to construe this as if it's a terrible thing. It's really funny. If you will give me just a second, let me read this on Safadine Amos's Twitter. I know you've read the Bitcoin Standard, Ben. It's a fantastic book. Everyone ought to read it. I think you said you have your employees read it. He says over on Twitter, I ran the numbers on what this is funny. Listen to this. I ran the numbers on washing machine electricity usage. Everybody's saying Bitcoin uses a ton of electricity. He says, I've ran the numbers on washing machine electricity usage, and I am appalled. 850 million washing machines worldwide consume around 140 gigawatt hours of electricity every year. I'm only washing my clothes by my hands from now on, and we'll start a campaign to ban washing machines. The washing machine community contains some of the world's most toxic and unpleasant individuals. Most of the world's serial killers use washing machines. These people are literally boiling oceans when hand washing is eco-friendly and a sustainable alternative above all else. So many people are trying to bash Bitcoin for things that fiat currency already does. And that's where the intellectual dishonesty comes in, is that they're trying to say Bitcoin is useful for money laundering, when in fact, Bitcoin being a transparent blockchain is the last place you would want to launder money. I'm sure you have other examples of that.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, yeah, there's certainly a lot on the laundry perspective, the money laundering perspective, but not the literal laundry perspective. I don't have a lot to say because I'm going to keep mine. Okay.
That's fair. Yeah, I do too.
But, they say that there was a study done a couple of years ago, and they said that the Bitcoin network uses as much electricity as Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. Now, Las Vegas is something that is obviously a very important city in America, but it's not even one of the top 50 cities population-wise in the world. Mm-hmm. Where are the calls to shut down Las Vegas? It uses a lot of power, like where is this at? And there's just so many people making so many bad arguments or revolving around climate change. Like I actually know, and I've actually had conversations with some people, I'll just say some celebrity type people, and they're literally having to make decisions on what blockchain they're going to use based upon the outcry from climate change enthusiasts. And we're not talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about Ethereum. Like they're saying that Ethereum, which is already converting over to proof of stake, which we use a lot less, obviously, because there won't be mining, but they're having to make decisions based on backlash from choosing the Ethereum blockchain over other blockchains. And I'm just like, that is so insane to me. Like Bitcoin, we can have this conversation. We can look at use as much power as Las Vegas, still not top 50 city in the world, but Ethereum uses far less. And it's just an example of basically what people do is they try to manipulate people's viewpoints on things. I saw a very interesting segment on the Bill Maher show. About the pandemic, I'll just say. And they were looking at political parties in the United States and what they believe about the pandemic. And they were showing how misinformed, people were on the left about how dangerous it really was. The statistics don't back it up at all. Like 60% of people on the left believe if you get the pandemic disease that, you will be on you'll be on a ventilator. You have a 50% chance of being on a ventilator. In reality, it's much closer to 1 to 5%. And it's just an example of once people get narratives, they just go at it so hard that eventually the people that generally agree with that viewpoint, they're going to be brainwashed into believing whatever it is that their media and their politicians are telling them. So in this case here, it's just like if they just pound Bitcoin is dangerous so much, now it's Ethereum is dangerous so much, people will eventually believe it, whether it's true or not. And a lot of the energy being used now to mine Bitcoin is clean energy, renewable energy, geothermal energy. So there's a lot of progress being made. So, I mean, I understand people pushing back against the energy consumption, but at the same time, like there's solutions being created for something that is going to be a giant solution for the world for decentralization that's going to benefit all of us. So, we just hear this stuff nonstop. It drives me crazy. I can't stand it. It's so silly when you look at if it's really this serious, let's just get rid of cars.
Yeah. Everybody can start walking away. No, that's the thing is that I believe that false doctrine and false ideology and all of this stuff, the cure for it is simple education.
Simple
if people had a
Absolutely.
foundational understanding of Bitcoin, they would understand why it requires so much power. Because I'll tell you, for anyone watching this, if you wonder why Bitcoin takes so much power, very simply, let me break it down very simply. Bitcoin requires so much power because it is the only way that humankind has ever figured out to create a limited supply, non-fungible form of money, fungible form of money on the internet in history. Blockchain. Blockchain, proof of work, blockchain, proof of stake. That's a whole thing. That's new. The only way that humankind has ever managed to create digital scarcity is on a blockchain. And the only way that it can exist is in proof of work, proof of stake. There's a whole argument about which one's better. The first way that we found out was called proof of work. Every kilowatt hour that goes into the Bitcoin blockchain makes the Bitcoin blockchain more secure. And if people understood that, they'd realize, wait a second, limited supply, digital scarcity. This is something that only gold, and this is a silver coin, only they really have that property in the real world. They're hard to move around. They can be easily centralized into central bank vaults. There's an issue with centralization. If people really understood why Bitcoin exists in the first place and had that foundational education, which, by the way, Safedin Amos, who I quoted earlier, talks about in the Bitcoin Standard, then they would realize, wait a minute, Bitcoin using all this power, which in the grand scheme of things is not that much, is one of the greatest uses of power that we can have because it allows us to have the foundation for a stable economy, which is something that we've been lacking in reality for the last 100-odd years. We've grown a lot, but at the expense of what? And that's the funny thing, is that so many people that are bashing Bitcoin don't know the first thing about Bitcoin. Absolutely. And I think when the word intellectual dishonesty comes up, that's what gets me, is when people start attacking something and they don't know what they're talking about. It's like, do your research. For example, we were talking about on stream this morning. There was a news report saying Dogecoin and Corando are altcoins that are doing very well. And they started bashing Dogecoin and Dogecoin and Cardano. The people didn't even know how to pronounce it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It was a news article, and it wasn't a news article. It was a local TV station, and they called it Dogecoin, and they called it Corando or something. Instead, it's Dogecoin and Cardano. They called it Dogecoin and Corando. They don't even know what they're talking about. I saw on Twitter, Dogecoin was trending a week ago, and it said Dogecoin stock price goes up. I'm like, Dogecoin has a stock now? What?
Yeah. How many shares of Doge do you have? Like, when people say that, like when people they talk about how many shares of a cryptocurrency they have, I'm like, yeah, don't say that.
Hey, listen, look, to be clear, I mean, I can't speak for you, but I'm sure you agree with me. We love our crypto noobs. I think being a noob in cryptocurrency is one of the best things that you could be. Absolutely. Because it means you're here.
We love it.
Good on you. We love you. This is not an attack, but we do want to help guide you. And that's where education comes in. That's where both of our channels come in, is to try and give you guys what you need to learn cryptocurrency. You can profit in it.
Absolutely.
Ben, do you have some other examples of people trying to manipulate the market like that? I have a few more also.
Yeah. One of them is, and by the way, to everybody watching, if you guys want content like this, make sure to smash the like button, but also go down to the link down below and go subscribe to Crypto Jeb's channel. This is a guy that I watch and have watched for years. Now, I don't know if you know this, Jeb. Let's pause for a second here, Jeb. I don't know if you know this, Jeb, but I actually sent you an email or a tweet or a DM years ago about working together, and you never responded.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
I never saw that.
Go to your email box and search, and you will find it. It was very early on. You had, I think, about probably 10,000 subscribers, and you ghosted me. You never responded to me. I just want to say, Look at us now, Jeff. Look at us now, Jeff.
Look at us now. We're taking over crypto. Oh my gosh. No, I literally never saw that.
That was before you even showed your face. That was way before you showed your face. Back then.
Hey guys, I remember watching this dude come up. He had like 2,000 subscribers when I first saw his channel. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Got a cool logo. And then I saw him hit like 60K, and I'm like, what the freak is he doing? Oh my God. And now he's got like almost 1 million. You're coming up on 1 million in what, maybe like 2 months? We're coming up on 100K relatively soon. Yeah. When do you think you're going to cross that?
By the end of next month. By the end of May, we should be at 1 million subscribers. So
that's awesome. Good for you, bro. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's awesome. So let's get back to the topic here, though. And then lastly, I want us to end with a prediction for what we're going to see for Bitcoin in the near term. Okay. Mm-hmm. But Jeb, there's a guy, Scott Menard. I hate this guy. He is the CIO of Guggenheim Partners. What a ridiculous name, Guggenheim Partners. And this guy, every time he comes out and says bearish stuff about Bitcoin, he's literally manipulating the price to buy more. So he told everybody like 2 weeks ago. Now, this guy says by the end of this year, Bitcoin's going to be at $400,000 to $600,000. But every 2 months, he changes his tune on it. And he comes on, he says, Oh, actually, now Bitcoin could drop down to $20,000. And I'm seeing people all over TikTok in my comments talking about how they believe that, people are telling them Bitcoin can drop to $10,000 or $15,000 soon by the summer. Just like, guys, that's not the way this market cycle works. We're not at a peak. It's very obvious. And this is why you have to learn to get your information from good resources that have your best interest at heart, not people that are trying to manipulate the price so they can make gigantic billion-dollar Bitcoin buys.
Yeah, no, first of all, I couldn't stop laughing there for a sec. What do you call it? Guggenheim Group?
Guggenheim. That's the name of it. Guggenheim Partners.
That's a name. Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of people that are trying to suppress the Bitcoin price right now by shilling FUD against it. For example, I don't want to name drop, but CNBC. Every time I see an article come up on certain websites, CNBC, there is nothing but bearish news coming out about Bitcoin. Like, oh, Bitcoin's gonna. How many times has Bitcoin been declared dead? If you guys don't know, this is common knowledge in cryptocurrency. 99bitcoins.com is well known for their list. 99 Bitcoin obituaries. You can actually go over here. I will link it in my description of my version of this video. There's 400 times that an article has come out claiming that Bitcoin has now passed into the afterlife. Guys, everybody is always trying to crap on Bitcoin, saying it's going to die. You said earlier Bitcoin's been around for 12 years. First block was mine. The Genesis block was mine. January 3rd, 2009. That was over 12 years ago. Fads don't last 12 years. No. 12 years ago, we were rocking bell-bottom jeans and the televisions were still this wide. Those things don't last that long. Bitcoin is not a fad. This is not going to end. This is the future, guys. So don't get freaked out.
I was not. I've never rocked bell-bottom jeans, just to be clear.
I wasn't. Yeah, to be clear, I was in fourth grade. So
I was wearing JNCOs in high school and middle school.
Yeah, there you go.
What those are, Jeb?
No clue. No. What'd you say?
JNCOs. J-N-C-O-S. Yeah. So you're barely alive. You're very young. You're.
Yes, I'm 20.
20.
I'm 20.
So, yeah, I was wearing JNCOs and you were not alive. So that will clue everybody in. But so Bitcoin's not dead. We all know that. It's going back up. But how far is it going? So what I want to do is talk about, I believe, and you also agree with me, we talked before we went on stream, that $47,000 was the bottom. I've been telling my people for 2 months it would not go below 47,000. It really tested that, but it came back up. I want to know, where do you think Bitcoin is going from here? Let's say, what is your, let's say a Q2 prediction? What do you see happening by the end of May by the end of June over the next 2 months?
End of Q2, I honestly, guys, I'm looking at my chart as we're talking here. I think that Q2 Bitcoin's going to be up above 70, probably pushing $80,000. That's only what, 45, just over 60 days away. Probably around 80, maybe even a little higher than that is where I think it's going by the end of Q2.
Well, there you go, $80,000 Bitcoin. I tend to agree with you. I think that Plan B, who created the stock to flow chart, he said he thinks Bitcoin's going to be at 74,000 in 21 days. So he's at three weeks right now. And this guy, he tends to know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Obviously, he created the world's, most accurate chart for Bitcoin. Yep. So, I think personally, that may sound a little too bullish for me right now. But I think by the end of June, I definitely think 80,000. I would say I could definitely see Bitcoin hitting 100,000 by the end of June, maybe right before the quarterly futures contract close on June 30th. That'll have a dramatic effect on the market, just like we saw the Q1 in March had a dramatic effect. So that would be kind of the glance off 100,000 and then go back down, maybe all the way down to 75,000 or 70,000, climb back up over July and August. And then in August, that's where it hits hyperdrive. Dan Moorhead from Pantera Capital says he believes $115,000 by August. I think into this bull run is the end of September. So that will give it another month to run and then match the stock to flow, somewhere between 290, 320K.
Yeah, man, I think the future for Bitcoin is so incredibly bright. And just my last point here, I just want to remind everybody, no matter where Bitcoin goes at the end of Q2 or at the end of Q3, at the end of Q4, generational wealth isn't made in a month. Generational wealth is made over the course of years. So look out where Bitcoin is going many years from now. I fundamentally believe that Bitcoin will fundamentally change the way their entire economy operates, and that is valuable. And that value is going to be put straight into Bitcoin's price and Bitcoin's market capitalization. And when you invest in Bitcoin, you're investing in that future. And I think it's a great idea. Something like 70% of my entire net worth is in Bitcoin right now, and I'm not scared about that in the slightest.
I have way more than that. I'm so irresponsibly.
You up to like 90 or something?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a lot of it in Ethereum too. So I've got like 15% of it in Ethereum.
Oh, well, I'm just talking about in crypto in general. I think Bitcoin.
Oh, crypto in general.
Yeah. I think we're probably about 30% Bitcoin right now. But my overall net worth is almost, it's all crypto or crypto related. So
yeah,
like even though we just bought a big expensive building, a 30,000 square foot building, and really the fact is we spent millions of dollars on that, but that's related to crypto too. Because if crypto doesn't do well and it were to go to zero, then
it's your crypto business.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if we're factoring in like that, then almost literally all of my money's in crypto. If we're including our business's cash in that we're running here.
We're 100% all in.
Yeah, I'm all in. And that if we're counting cash in a business account somewhere, I'm all in also, man. I'm moving into a new building in August. I got you.
I got to come down and visit, man. I'm going to be excited to do that next time I'm down there in the area. So, well, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming on the show today. Been absolutely phenomenal. Great conversation. Can't wait to have you back on more in the future. Anything you want to leave us with today?
No, I think I covered everything. I just want you guys to remember that the future for Bitcoin is bright. Don't let the FUD get to you. It's a great project.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, drop your comments down below. Let us know what you think. Who are some other people who have been trying to FUD Bitcoin? Make sure to name them and claim them down below in the comment section. That's all we got. Be blessed. Good boy out.
Be blessed.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.